Hello and welcome to
Ian just
Jarviskjir.
rising up.
No matter.
He floats. He's an elephant. Mind
Excuse me. How dare you throw that copyright
I've been
infringing
dealing
term
with
on
an
me?
I've been dealing with an intellect devourer in Pathfinder, and it's there's a lot of stuff going on right now, right?
I can tell your intellect's been devoured. Welcome to Jarviskjir Mind Over Matter. It's it's our Underrealm intrigue game that we do here to continue through the
Oh man,
malaise.
that sentence, you became tumulus halfway through.
I know. So yeah, I think everyone is sleepy. I think in the world, everyone is just permanently now sleepy from lockdown.
It's
Like,
okay. I'm fine today.
You're good?
I've got energy. That's fine.
That's sweet.
I can plus ultra it. It's fine.
Okay, good. I'm gonna need you to plus alt, and that's very important. So, last time.
What happened last week?
Yeah. Well, Neil, what did happen last week? Let me finish my coffee while you tell me all about it.
So we decided we decided that Ashal was in a really rough situation, and so we needed to rock out of there and get them some help.
That one does not even work.
So the first thing we did was
I just want to point this out. For all of the puns last week, either no one respected it enough to comment on it, or no one noticed that I was the first one to make such a pun in the Discord. I said the encounter rocked.
Did you?
I noticed.
I didn't notice that.
Good. I'm glad that someone noticed, even if it didn't get any comments.
I'm impressed.
I gave it an IRL silent chuckle.
I definitely did the thing where you did that pun, and then before the stream last week, I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna make my tweet about the stream a bunch of rock puns because Shell's been turned to stone." That's a really good idea. Good job, me. So I definitely just stole that subconsciously.
I'm pun phobic.
oh no,
I am afraid of them. I don't like them.
there weren't many.
Upon me in my sleep.
And so we went to seek help in the city of Narashiro. And the first port of call was a priestess of the snake aspect or serpent aspect of Loth. And so we spoke to her, and she said, "Yeah, I can do it, but it's going to cost you some eyes or legs." And
She
so
wasn't
we
picky.
were a bit. We were a bit.
Has many of those though.
We were a bit iffy about that, so we said, why don't we go speak to a mage? And the priestess was like, yeah, do that. That's a great idea.
Shop around.
So we went and we spoke to the mage, and she said, sure, we can fix that. And you know what? To boot, here's this little location majiggy. I'll even teleport your friend to you when they're not stoned anymore. And we were like, boy, that sure sounds real good. And then she whipped out she was a Medusa, by the way, whipped out a contract and in a language that we couldn't read, and said, look, hey ho, here you go. Look, just sign here. And you just have to explore, the giant magical catastrophe zone behind us.
Yeah.
But it's for the good of everyone.
Yeah.
And so we were a bit like, this sounds a bit... And then Oshun was like, Sing for snakes.
Well, the thing is, she's also a Medusa, so Oshun may be inspired by the goddess of fertility, but there was also some those snakes were waving around in sort of a hypnotic manner.
Oshun has a
Driving
thing
to
for
my
snakes.
Anaconda don't.
Oh my lord. And we decided that this was too iffy in the end. So we left it. We said goodbye.
You got
We said
close.
good day. and we took the little teleportation
Stole it,
location
yeah.
beacon.
Walked away with something in my hair once a game. This time in the game.
So it was an accidental steal, and then we went down, and Oshun had about, I don't know, 6 of her eyes pulled out.
Yeah.
Just, like a corkscrew just went in there, ponk, ponk,
Or, like,
ponk.
Yeah,
Straight
it was
into,
with her fingers. It's even worse.
Straight into the Serpent Lady's martini, like olives, straight down the hatch. Bam! Blood magic. Ashal was no longer made of stone. So we carried his limp body out of there, and we left. And then we went
they'll
on
get
an
better.
adventure. We spoke to the Needster again, who was shifty as ever. Then we
Always.
traveled into the mushroom forests, where we met a mushroom elf, the only mushroom elf who's allowed to speak to outsiders, in fact.
Who will talk to us?
And lo and behold, he did speak to us after we built a fire and chastised him for being impolite. And he led us to where he had seen a nondescript drider leading the spiderkin to. On the way, we decided to park up. We left a shell in the beetle boot. We locked it. We left the window down, the wing down, just a crack, and we just left him. We thought, whew, that'll be fine.
Oh my god, he's dead. He's
Uh,
dead.
All
And
those
then
eyes
we-
for
we-
nothing.
Bye, everyone.
we traveled in to the this sacred site. We just know there's like fangs coming up, or what looked like stone fangs, and we were chased by a nondescript molten centipede.
It was basically the Pokemon, but like
Yeah.
extra big.
Centiscorch.
Center Scorch.
That was a good
but
recap, Neil.
gargantuan.
You should. I should get you to do these more often. You pretty much everything included.
I tried.
Very
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah, it took mental gears were working. Okay, and that is where we actually start off. You are just outside the Fanged Ruins, having parked up your beetle and having to run from the creature that chased you outside of it. You are just outside the door. We really stopped like the moment before you're gonna like step in and see what's within.
Cumulus under one arm, thrown a dwarf from the. You have to toss a dwarf.
You did toss a
It's
dwarf,
once a campaign.
but like it wasn't like a cool way.
it
It was like an underarm.
No, but didn't he like do that?
No,
thing
he
that's-
did.
He made it cool. He
Don't
made
you
it cool.
So it
retroactively
was-
make things lame.
It
We're
was
already
cool.
lame.
You're right. It was cool. I forgot that happened. And
Superhero landing.
don't worry, guys. Ashal is with you. Ashal also ran away from the centipede.
That's fine because
And I'm insulted as shall floated away.
Slowly
Oh,
floated away at his own pace.
In that case, Oshun will retroactively also be carrying a shark in the spider legs. I'm gonna carry everybody and just run.
Yeah.
that's very forward for a shell.
So
Yeah.
that's where you guys are at now. You're just outside the archway to these ruins, and the archway is massive, like a good 15 feet tall, and kind of like broken in the middle. So like one side is bigger than the other. And also outside of this whole wall complex that stretches around it. Ashal is now fighting fit and back in their brain. What would you guys like to do and or discuss?
Oh, you bastard. Don't give Ollie ideas. Oh my god.
A core part of D&D is giving the DM ideas of going, oh, I
mean,
wonder
to
if
be
this
fair-
is the case, and the DM's like, yeah.
To be fair, the Medusa has met you and thus would be able to scry on you anyway.
Well,
but
the
you
plan
know,
is
It's always cooler
every
to scry
so
on an
often
object.
we're going to see if we can see the little scry bubble, and if it is there, Oshun's got to be naked.
who says that Yarv? Who
That's
says
the
that
only
Yarv
thing.
works in the same way?
We've got like a
Well, that just
like
means Oshun's got to be
Zoe's
naked
like prepping
all time.
the anime beach episode right now. Meanwhile, people are being mauled by like a giant molten centipede in the background. Just,
Well, funny thing, the centipede fucked
Funny
off.
thing, it is the beach episode.
Tamulus
not
would
there.
like to. Is there any? I cannot remember whether he made any rolls about this. Is there any chance that Tumulus may know what this is? He's
No, it was
trained in
all
the
a bit
skill
too-
of nature.
Yeah,
but I
go-
thought so. Yeah,
Give me
it's
in nature, it was all a bit too so you can absolutely give it.
I don't know what it is.
It's a thing.
It's a big fiery boy.
Big
Yeah.
fiery boy.
There's a big fiery boy that has left, and you can't even see the glow of the rock of it traveling underground. If it's nearby,
I wonder if
it's
this land
far
is,
away.
like extra fertile because it's like a volcano boy that regularly like dips in and out of the ground.
There's not much growing here other than the occasional root and like climbing vine on the edge of these buildings. It's an area that is kind of unviewable from the forest, and it is part of the forest, but the actual like ruins itself, it's not like it's overgrown or anything. What's the plan?
Well, we should find whoever is in charge. I imagine.
Are we gonna have the reunion with Ashal?
Charles has technically been.
Charles with you right now.
No, because like you've been dead for
It's
like.
fine.
Yeah.
He's been going through a rough.
We can have, but there can be like roleplay that at a point when we're not like just being chased
Fair
and in
enough.
a.
Yes, as Charles is still rebooting a little.
In that case, Oshun's just going to be reluctant to let you go. Good luck getting out of 8 legs.
Okay, what spells have I got?
Bring it.
Okay, I will.
No fighting.
It's lower
you two.
HP, like worse magic
No.
ability.
Ah!
I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds at 2nd level on.
Oh god.
Fucking, that would
Just
actually
Bogdan and
kill you.
Tumulus just like watching.
I'm gonna cast Cackle to.
And then Ocean's just like, that's a funny joke, Ashal. Anyway, I'm so sorry.
Well, I mean, y'all can just hang ominously outside this door like a bunch of teenagers if you want.
I knock.
Like non-existent.
There is no
Wait, they have a gate.
doorway. No, it's
He
just
knocks
open.
on the frame.
You can knock on the stone.
arm.
That is a very dwarven thing, like knocking
Yeah.
on the stone.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Like the butt of my poleaxe. Just...
there's no response from inside. But you
Imagine if it cracked though.
impressively it doesn't. But you can start to hear the camp inside a little more. You know, just the hum of activity from in there.
It is odd that this creature did not pursue beyond the boundaries of this encampment.
Agreed.
I wonder if it is a guardian or a predator.
Wild creatures sometimes can sense when something is stronger than they. if there is such a being here, that would also explain it. It may also be shrouded or warded with magics. Or, as you say, it could be some sort of controlled or summoned guardian beast.
Shall we introduce ourselves?
That seems the logical next step.
Hello.
I'm gonna step through the archway and start walking in.
Yes.
Open.
Yeah.
The reason.
No gate, just,
Yeah, just
open.
Just there.
Uh, there are some big steps, and it's almost like it was kind of like maybe the walls, maybe the fang-like structures cast a shadow to make it hard to see even through the archway, but when you step through, it's a lot easier. And what you see is this large, flat plain coated in tents and little basic shelters that have been made up here. All the way up until like sort of the back of the ruin structure, where there's an area that's almost like a stage. There's like a much raised area where the largest of the fang structures are. There's no one camping up on that bit, only down below. And the inhabitants of all of these little tents are spiderkin. That are mostly conserving their energy. It's not one of those things where it's almost surprising. No, there's not like an attack from a guard or anything like that. There's someone sitting kind of near the entrance and they kind of listlessly look at you. The spiderkin, to describe them, are, I mean, you know they're humanoid spiders. But they don't have much human about them, right? They're much more an anthropomorphic spider. While they have kind of fingers and toes and things, their body is chitinous. Sometimes there's fur, sometimes there's slightly more human-like features, but usually they're more, well, insectoid, arachnidy. Almost alien-looking, especially because a lot of them are like black and glossy. Some of them have different color patterns, because I mean they're like spiders, right? There's a gazillion different types of spiders, gazillion different looks, and some of them look like different breeds of spiders. They also always have an extra set of arms. Well, actually, only some of them have an extra set of arms, the larger ones usually. Unless I got that wrong, I'm gonna check that real quick on my notes.
I was imagining like fuzzy tarantulas. Like there's a tarantula called the curly-haired tarantula, which is like just literally covered in like these huge curls.
Yeah, some of them have kind of like human hair. Some of them have a more like animal fur to them, and it's kind of you know, there's a wide variety of appearances amongst them, but they all kind of share the same blueprint, just like humans and elves. You know, all elves have similar features, but have different features, but the same blueprint, and that's the same with spiderkin. Just checking something real quick. Okay,
The question is though, do they have toe beans?
They have little toe claws.
That's not.
They have, so every single one has a second set of arms, but they don't have hands on those arms. They just have these kind of like almost like claw blades, but they're too small to really be used defensively. They're usually used for holding things.
Like a drink, like a Starbucks.
Like a Starbucks. But yeah, the as you approach, there's not guards that come to fight you, nor is there an uproar of, oh, someone's come for us. There are occasional head tilts and mandible clacks of recognition, but they're all very tired. It's quite easy to tell that this is really a refugee camp. To call it like a town or a village wouldn't quite make sense, because there's no permanent structures. It's not like they've built into the ruin, they're just kind of on top of it. And all these little tents and things, and some tents, okay, maybe this is like more of a communal eating area, but also there's the little fires where they were cooking for like 2 or 3 of them. and things like that. But and there's not really much being made. There's no clang of a blacksmith or sounds of woodworking or anything. It's just kind of the low noise of quiet conversations. It's very quiet, actually. Very, like, polite. What do you think, Ocean?
I think Oshun is just going to be glancing around, and like I think they may like make eye contact with like the person closest to the gate who may have like a spear or something. Did you say they have?
No, it's weird that they don't have a spear. There's no like guard, but when you do look at them and like your eyes don't really linger on them because you're wearing a mask, but they do kind
I
of.
think she's wearing a mask right now. I think she's still just got the
Just the band.
bandage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The individual does like click their hand, and a couple of pebbles rise off the ground in a magician's equivalent of putting a hand on their sword, but they're still sitting. They don't stand up. They're kind of lounging because they have like fairly large like thoraxes and things.
You can't just talk about how large someone's
Can't
thorax.
just say large thorax on twitch.tv. Mostly because I'm not entirely sure which part of the body that is.
I'm pretty sure it's the chest.
Maybe this one does have a large chest, who knows? I should know these things. I don't. I'm a DM.
I think she's going to like try and address them in like undercommon and like elven and see which one sticks.
Yeah. I think Spiderkin mostly speak undercommon, but I think a lot of them would know Usurper Elf Elvish as well. They're closely tied as species.
She will say, "We've been tracking disappearing Spiderkin, and it seems as though we have found them. Are you hale and are you well?"
You're just sort of like talking to the crowd, right?
Crowd, this particular person who's like seems to be vaguely defending.
They give you a long look. Not like an elvish pause look. It's just that they don't have expressions of humans, right? I think to Ocean, the slight differences in mandibles, the slight way that some of their like almost whiskers would move, Ocean would be able to actually read that. Everyone else would be like, what's happening?
Except that one that turns around and prepares to kick hairs at you. There's always this one aggressive tarantula that's like, "I'm gonna make you itch."
Yeah, you might get itchy if you stay here too long. They stand up, but they don't say anything. But they definitely understood you. Can everyone make me a perception check? And I should say, you have a pretty good view of like the whole camp. There's at least 1,000 people here, maybe more. Well, I was going to say those are all pretty bad, but actually there are 2 good ones there. Ashal and Bogdan, you can see along the way, it's near the end of the ruin, you see a large figure almost climbing over the tents. Very Dryder-like.
I was about to ask.
Shit.
Is it coming towards us?
I want to immediately bring Oshun, bring her attention to it. Yeah, just like elbow point.
You elbow the thigh.
Just like the knee.
The knee. Out of joint. God.
I mean, that'll get her attention.
Oshun, I assume will notice this. I'm not. 14 is like.
Once it's pointed out.
It's 14, but it is dark, and you have a hard time seeing right now in general.
Adjusting to having just 2 eyes repulsive, unnatural.
Yeah, so you have a hard, like, you can see that something is moving towards you, but the specifics, until they get close, are like, you need, like, new glasses, is basically Ocean's vision right now. Is that, like, process.
Ocean is now glasses, like...
It seems to be akin to a drider, the being that led them through the forest, perhaps.
Oh, Lord. Oshun is, like, not sure how to place herself right now, so just, like, draws herself up into presentable to the other driders that she knows. So the mask is going on, even though it'll put pressure on the, like, the missing eyes, beneath the bandage, and she's gonna, like... Maybe you struggled free, but in which case she's gonna, like, withdraw.
Yeah, Ashal probably, like, Ashal's been speaking to you. Like, you probably didn't even notice that Ashal would all free.
Ashal would have, like, violently escaped at first opportunity. Ashal does not like to be touched.
Ashal doesn't want hugs yet. The storyline has not completed.
You
Ashal's
haven't developed
arc.
an affection yet with Ashal. Haven't unlocked my backstory.
Exactly, you need to do the backstory quest, which we know is going to that freaking undead place. And then maybe you'll get something.
Withdraw the legs into against her back and, like, behind her hair again, and just sort of, like, be a normal person again.
You go through the etiquette. You notice that the spiderkin around back up.
Oh, I lost points of affection with the spiderkin.
They either back up out of sight or just out of the way. But they don't go out of the archway or anything. And that's when the Drider gets closer and will kind of come down from one of these tents and loom over you. For Driders are tall. This Drider is larger than any other Drider. Driders are large size. She is huge size.
She's thick.
Well... This individual does not look like a regular Drider, although the best way to the first way you would describe them would be as a Drider, but without the elegance anymore. Their body is coated in thick, jagged, chitinous plates. They look kind of almost painful and malformed in the way that they've shaped, almost like natural body armor, like sort of like what the spider can have, but like weirder and worse and kind of asymmetrical, and it's this kind of burnt bone color. The face of the Drider is not the graceful face of a drow anymore. It's there was a drow face there once, but now it's split open, and there's this large crest where hair would have been that's again asymmetrical and large and heavy, and there's not mandibles or anything, but the face has basically been kind of split and stretched. Not a huge amount. It's still like it's not gone so far that you can't see like the elf that was in there, but it is like it's been carved into or maybe grown outwards, but it's very much malformed. There's even a second jaw on the side of the neck, whole mouth that can operate down there. And there are a lot of eyes. You count 12. There might be more.
Give some to me.
Yeah, you might be able to get some spare eyes. The hands are long with sharp fingers. The spider body in the back is just armored and jagged, and we described the other week that, Ocean's spider legs are very gentle, just like a real spider's. No, the spider legs of this Drider are like huge lances with jagged bone blades all over them. A very violent looking creature. And when she leers down at you, there is a hiss that emanates from inside the body. And then just the kind of like rasp of breathing because it looks like her jaws don't like shut properly anymore, and that kind of like twitchy insect look directly at Ocean for a bit, and then at every other party member for a moment. You start to realize, probably looking into her face, Ocean, that in a kind of abstract way, the way the armor has grown out of her face almost looks like a spider's web.
So dope. That's really cool.
Are you going to wait for her to speak, or you going to introduce
Ocean's
yourself?
gonna say, "Hail, sister."
Sister. Yes, I know who you are.
Do I know who this person is?
Remember. You can give me a religion check.
While she does that, how common are spiderlings in the Underdark?
You can give me a history check for that, and then we'll see how much you know, because there'll be some stuff you just know in general, and then a little more than that. So, spiderlings, spiderkin, this... Also, chitines, they're sometimes called, stuff like that. They're actually quite common, but they're rarely seen. You know there's some kind of connection to usurper elf religion, but you don't know the specifics. But you know that it's almost like they're two species that compete for the same part of the ecosystem. Almost. If you were to abstract it.
Boar.
Like a certain type of boar. Yeah. But they're pretty common, and they're the kind of peoples you could find all over the place. It depends on who you are, whether you consider them a peoples or a monsters. But they're intelligent, just like any other peoples, and have their own cultures and creeds and things like that. But they rarely form in large groups as well. They're kind of a small community species, usually. So a large gathering like this is weird, but probably most of the times you would have seen them before would have been as beggars or like low income laborers or something, right? That's kind of where they fit in like the ecosystem of society, but not really as of choice. Like a lot of this is kind of almost for Orkshua's plan. They are a species that has a large population that doesn't have leadership or representation at the Treaty of the Deep. Ocean, you are staring at this individual. They are staring back at you. Their middle eyes, although instead of being like this, it's more like this, are faded, but still have a little bit of life left in them. And you do recognize them, at least features of them. Back before you left Narashiro, the Shogun was a woman who went by the Mad Priestess. Scarred by Ivrith and given glorious purpose by Lithura Dorneb. She's in some ways unmistakable, but also unrecognizable in this form. It could be someone else. You know it isn't. And that would be someone, because even though they're a shogun and a leader of war, they spent a lot of time in the Holy District as operating like a high priestess. They were a high priestess first. It actually might be something that you would be kind of intimately familiar with, because they were someone who kind of tried to ascend and it didn't work. Hence the scar. Looks like they finally ascended. But differently, in a shape that would not be acceptable in the church.
This is so crazy because, like, it's like she feels recalls this person's like experience, but like is also like not sure I can like rely on predictability at all, but also like
I was gonna say, like, the party, if the rest of the party isn't already, it is quite obvious that Ashal is at least not like making it. It's not even quite at the level of hand on the sword level, but definitely sort of on guard.
You know, like, yeah, think ready. You know, like,
Yeah,
making
this is
sure
clearly
stuff's ready.
This is clearly someone who is, even from that little bit of speech, quite possibly insane, probably quite dangerous given their size, and given how all the Spiderkin backed away, the leader here, and possibly a bit of a despot. There's a lot of warning bells going on.
There's a lot of
with
things
Ashal's
going on
back.
right now. To the point that after having like one line of dialogue, we've had like 10 minutes of discussion about it.
Yeah.
You know something's going on in D&D when that happens.
sounds like Jarviskjir after dark.
Sounds like regular the Jarviskjir.
Did we know her name?
The name that she has always gone by is the Mad Priestess. I think Oshun, being the good priestess, probably would have been like, no, she has a name. I want to refer to her by name, but you never learnt it and no one knows it. Maybe Lithura knew it? It seems like Lithura and the Mad Priestess were toy.
It's Piper.
Yeah, it's...
Karen.
But whatever her real name is, no one knows. That's the name she went by, but also kind of the name she was given. You know what I mean? Previous name struck from the record.
I want Oshun to sit down and have coffee with this person and just say, so, was it a lean-in kind of situation?
How does Oshun want to reply, or do you let that silence linger?
I think Oshun would, like, for the first time since you've seen her, very slightly incline her head, but like never actually lower herself at all.
Gonna say anything to her, or just kind of acknowledge?
I think she would say, I feel that I also recognize the aura of you, at least from...
Aura.
I just want to hand her a kid's book and just be like, apple.
I've a good point. I think she would be speaking Elvish to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gone into Elvish.
Just to make Ashal even more uncomfortable.
Yes.
When I came up through the priestesshood, we learnt of many great priestesses of the past.
Because this is a weird situation. She's not standing on the floor. She's like this, right? She's standing on like her back couple of legs are on like the tent poles. So
You better not be a jumping spider, I swear to God.
it's very much like you've poked a spider and it's like ready to fucking jump at you. But she kind of like leans and kind of looks around the camp. It's like, past. The past is difficult to define, to find. Long gone. Very different now. Different purpose from the goddess.
Interesting. I understand through, in part, my own ascension did feel like a sort of shedding of one's past. However, my own experience with the process put me in more of a mission sort of standpoint. I was giving abilities I hadn't previously been as married to.
A shape. A purpose in your shape to befit the goddess's wills, the tangled webs of fate. Yes, I can see. Very different from the girl I saw before. Both we are transformed.
Oshun will like sort of open her arms in front of her stomach and go, I feel very much transformed in many ways, and also the path forward is clear in some points and very unclear in others. And she'll put her hands on like her stomach.
The Mad Priestess will look over you and will lean down. There's a Driders, despite their size and anatomy, are very like flexible creatures, so she can like lean down and like get like real close to your stomach and like look and chatter.
Oshun's gonna put her hands on her back and just do that pregnant
The
woman
pregnant
step.
pose. And there's a moment where it looks like she might reach to kind of touch your belly with a second set of arms you never noticed she had. That are kind of like coming up from the spider part in a kind of Quayloggy way. She's a little Quayloggy. For Dark Souls people out there.
I have to Google. Is that lady?
Yes, it's that lady.
Very
It's that
nice.
lady!
Naked woman on a spider.
Yeah,
body.
but
Never
it
seen that
the
before.
whole yeah, but like her upper half, but the Mad Priestess upper half is also jank. But she doesn't like actually touch you. But
Very
her
respectful.
hands do like the twitchy thing. And pull away.
Tell me there's bristles when the hand comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashal would a bit as well.
I have never seen ascension in a shape like this, but no one had seen ascension in a shape like mine. Oh, in a way, rest so violent from the mortal coil as mine. But our queen serves us in interesting ways. Our purpose. And she will very quickly, with a snap, stand back upright.
How do I want to do this?
You're not killing her, right?
We would get slaughtered.
No, I'm just making a
I think,
joke.
as like Oshun is going to like think very quickly on the spot for like a second, and is going to unfurl the spider limbs from her back and use them to sort of stand up a little bit
Kind of
closer
similar to her height. You know, I imagine when Ocean's
Yeah.
on the spider legs, because you can kind of like push.
And she's going to take one of her hands, if willing, and use it to remove the mask on her face. Take one of the priestess's hands.
Yeah. How very interesting. The goddess has no purpose for flimsy vessels in this new age of darkness and war.
What darkness is it that you see?
glorious darkness coming soon. This is a dark place, befitting the sheep, the lambs.
What the fuck's a sheep?
It would be a little weird.
Ocean will say, and I ruined this for myself in my own head. Ocean will say, and what of the children? Like, referring to the spiderkin. And I ruined it, because now I'm just thinking, think of the children!
Ocean is a little think of the children.
But not in a terrible way. Not in a Karen way.
No. Ocean hasn't become a Karen yet. The
dark path.
That's the dark future. She's
I don't want
warning
to
you.
complain at people or like stop children from riding bikes down dangerous hills.
That's Ocean's like, go ahead, go down the hill.
Doing the marijuana, but it's gonna be in my nest.
The Mad Priestess will look around again, and some of the spiderkin kind of come out of a little bit of their hidey holes to look at you. But again, from standing high, you have a really good view of just how many people that are here. Like, this is their place. I've made sure of it. It's where they belong. It's where they need to be. Where safety can come for them. All parts of the plan. The question remains, ocean, child, vessel. What part of the plan are you? You haven't come to take them away from us. No. Have you come to act on our queen's will? There is much left to be done. Much.
I'm gonna wash my hands. But Oshun will say, I'm not sure about what place in the plan that I have. I only know that I am on the path that our goddess has put me on, with her gifts and her imparting abilities on me, whether they are conventionally acceptable or no.
Convention has no place in the future of our kind, she says, grinning.
It seemed to have no place in the past either.
Yes! The past and the future are very much one and the same. No, very different, but this place is of a jagged past, bathed in blood, and a fitting future safe it will hold. Bar one.
We did not come to remove the spiderkin from wherever it is that they would be, unless they were unhappy. Are they happy here? Are they more happy than where they were in the city? Are you happy?
The city holds no value to the goddesses' plan and chosen people, for their path ahead of them would not be in the city. Here they can thrive and do what must be done, their part in the puzzle. When they are safe, they are not yet safe. Safer from the hands of the silk-laden, besoaped, be-gemstoned nobility of Narashiro, but not safe from all, not yet. Ocean vessel, you could help us. You could be part of the plan of great and terrible value.
Yeah, go kill Center Scourge.
I must check with my companions, for it is not me alone that can make these decisions currently, you understand? But I will definitely consider what it is you have told me today.
There is a slight look of disgust on her face at the idea of having to ask for someone's opinion. But she will kind of stand up straight again with a snap. And it's like, very well, there is much to be done for befitting vessels. Even in their shape, they may have places in the webs of Ivrith, and glorious place in the heavens of Arachna. Perhaps, maybe 2-4, perhaps. And she'll kind of keep muttering to herself as she crunches over the camp away.
Yeah, she's gonna just go and like lower herself and go back to the group, like a little bit, mostly legs, a little bit other legs, just like
Deflated from that social engagement.
yes.
I may not speak Elven, but I have seen and spoken to enough crazy hermits in my time to know what I just saw.
Oshun will relay the conversation.
It seems strange that she believes the drow of the city are not chosen of Ivrith.
There are two questions that come to mind. The first is, are we able to get a genuine opinion from the Spiderkin themselves? Are we able to communicate with them? The second is, who is delivering the plan to the priestess?
Was not our task from Ochua merely to locate the Spiderkin, to investigate? If we wish to pursue this further, that is at your volition. But it was not our assigned task.
That is a fair point. I had forgotten that the safety wasn't quite top priority, or stipulated rather. However, I think we can all assume that we would care for the well-being of peoples.
Awkward pause.
By what method do you have to contact Oksua?
We do not. We would travel back.
We haven't added her on Twitter.
It stands to reason that we are meant to come to some kind of resolution.
If nothing else, it would seem prudent to determine why they came here and why they stay.
Purposes?
I think perhaps Ashal was on the right track with wondering. Was it Ashal or was it Oshun? Where these directives are coming from.
Yes. Yes. For we all receive unique messages from Lady Ivrith. It is difficult to discern because I'm sure all priestesses have their connection to Ivrith. I'm sure that assuming that one person's connection to Ivrith is more important than another is a dangerous and arrogant road. However, if she's been allowed to ascend, then surely it is the connection of Ivrith. However, this plan of which she speaks, I do not want to assume that it is sinister, because although she may see things very differently to us, that does not mean that what she experiences is untrue. Once it passes through her sight and her mind and her spirit, it is as real to her as anything we see or are able to see or perceive through our mind and our eyes and our spirit.
My connection to the god is unique, and mine alone. It is shared by none else. The person changes the connection, even if your god is pure. This person went by the moniker of Mad Priestess. To my people. Yes, my child. It's this time again.
Kitty.
To my people. That would be an ill tiding.
Drea will speak up and will say, to our people, embracing one's insanity can be a blessing, or of value, at the very least, as a weapon of war. The previous Daimao put the Mad Priestess in a proper place to use that aspect of herself. I suspect we respect it because we fear it.
One who has a connection is the difference. I feel is in the power they hold over others and how they use that power. I am, in observing this camp, I am not seeing a group who have willingly followed someone. I am seeing a group who have been compelled through fear. And that does not bode well for whatever this Mad Priestess has in store.
That is an excellent point. It is difficult to discern without communicating with the peoples first. Is it a cultural difference, or is this somber air? The lack of celebration, as most cities have areas of. is it something indicative of something worse?
If we are to assume the Mad Priestess assembled these folk here, then they stay because of her utterings. And if these... What we're seeing here could perhaps be described as a separate sect of the usurper elf religion, which means that these spider kin could be viewed either as desperate people or as zealots. What we must assess, as we are agents of Oakshua, is what benefit does this community, under the control of this mad priestess, have to the Alliance? If a gathering of spiderkin would bolster the Alliance, then we should aid. If it would undermine it, then we should thwart.
What I'm seeing is a collection of people who have been persecuted from every corner of the underground realm.
Underground realm. It is hard to say.
Should they not collect together in a place where they have their own kind?
Be careful when you go about building states. We are talking about the formation of a small fledgling state under the rule of your former shogun. Ask yourself, if she was no longer capable of leading your people, what qualifies her to lead these?
I would also add that I see no evidence here of attempts to build anything. I see a collection of displaced persons who, for lack of a better word, there is a heavy pallor of depression over this camp.
Well, I think we
Ashal.
can all relate to feeling displaced.
Can you give me an Arcana check, Ashal?
It does seem rather stagnant.
As you think on that, and you got a big brain, the feeling you feel is more than the feeling of depression. And it's not coming from the spiderkin, it's coming from deeper, inside the ruin. You're standing on the roof of a building. A building very old. There's no one living inside the building. There's a feeling of darkness and dread and screaming and suffering. Almost the psionic imprint of all of that on the structure.
Well, damn!
As Charles sort of finishes that line about depression, they would trail off and sort of like, you can visibly see them unfocus a bit.
What is it? What do you smell?
No, depression. Yes, depression, but it is not from them.
Hmm?
They are affected. The ruin itself, deeper within, it is suffering, pain itself, screams, foreboding. And then they would slightly recoil, like.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Once you attune to the psychic radio, it's unpleasant, and you feel it leaching into yourself. And you know, from your even other experiences to being connected to a hive mind. You don't even need to be connected to it to feel it. When you were in Ebamaro, everyone could feel the song. You didn't have to be a part of it to feel it.
Ocean's gonna quickly pat. I know you don't like to touch.
As Charles will probably be too distracted to actually respond at this.
Oh.
There is something deeply wrong with this place by all accounts, except that wishes for darkness and dread.
Is this the will of Ivrith? Bitch would have told me.
It doesn't feel like divine.
Did you just
magic.
do that meme? Like, there's a butterfly, and you're like, "Is this the will of
That's slashes. I'd have to do it with the piece of art, but that is such a usable meme for Ocean.
Is this my god?
Is this the will of Ivrith? It doesn't feel like divine magic, because you can even feel the magic like in the stone and stuff around. And while old magic like that is very often divine magic, right? Like old little shrines and things, it doesn't feel divine at all. More so the opposite.
As Charles would say, not of this is no god's blessing, and would float over to like a nearby piece of stonework pretty much at random and reach out and touch it and just try and brush away like if there's anything on, like basically looking for markings.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
You are on it.
It's one of those things where I gave Ian oh, you should roll in an Arcana check, knowing that when this conversation eventually finished, Ian was totally gonna roll an Arcana check anyway.
Yes.
I just wanted to, do. So you can do that, and you can see, because this ruin is very old. I described before that some parts are so old they are just become stone. When you brush it away, there are parts of it that are engraved in a different language. Almost a different type of stone. It's kind of purplish, glossy. It's in Umbral, the language of the Shadow Realm that you can speak and read. One area that you uncover, the writing it's like almost imprinted into the stone over and over and over. It would take magic to do this. It's very, maybe not deliberate. Maybe this is the presence. But in some parts are gibberish. Some parts are clearly a warning. Whatever was within this place is to be remained entombed, and this place is to be forgotten. And in other places, the building itself refers to itself as an asylum. In other places, the Fanged Asylum would be its own title.
I'm sure, like, you could, like, the tentacles are, like, retracting and slightly, like, nervously twitching almost. As, like, and Ashar looks around, like, they don't have pupils, Ashar. That's just the way that everybody are. Even then, the eyes are wide and just like,
oh, yeah.
This place, it holds some connection to the realm of shadows, the Fell. This place, in their language, it's known as the Fanged Asylum. It is meant to keep things at bay.
Another thing, just so you know, Ashal, speaking Umbral, would absolutely know that it's kind of a thing in Jarviskjir is there's a lot of names for things. Things have lots of different names. The true name of the Shadow Realm or the Umbral Plane is Uhaga. But Uhaga.
Is that one? Is that one of those things that you kind of wouldn't speak, or is it?
You would speak it if you wanted to do shadow magic, right? You could, because names have power, right? Which is why,
exactly. That's why.
Which is why this is one. the usurper elf religion is one of the rare religions where they refer to their goddess by name because it's powerful. It is powerful to call her Ivrith. A lot of other religions, it is disrespectful to speak the name of the god, or you only do it in certain ways. So yeah, if you want to do a little bit of shadow magic, you would speak the name Uhagir. You'd also know that it's the shadow realm. It's the realm of death and this world imprinted into dark.
Card games go.
It's where all the people who lose games at Call of the Mountain Guard go.
Call of the Mountain Guard on motorcycles!
It'll happen one day.
Card games on motorcycles.
While Aishal is processing that, I think Bogdan will say, I do not personally believe that someone renowned for their insanity could be relied upon as an asset in an alliance of nations.
She used to lead the largest military that was, well, she forgave me of my sins. Come 2 years ago, Narashira was the only part of the treaty that waged any war on the surface under the instructions of the Mad Priestess.
Then, by that own admission, her own efficacy, that's really hard to say when you got gunk in the back of your throat. By her own efficacy, despite her own efficacy in ruling her home notwithstanding, she did in fact take her nation in a path outside of the alliance. You said the only one to wage war. A contrarian.
The alliance was made for war.
It's debatable.
She has led these folk to a place of death and suffering.
Do you think that she knows that? I don't think this place is on any maps.
I do not know, but I suggest we might have an answer to what it is she is receiving her plan from.
And
it's not the god of the usurpers.
This is why I rely on you all. Because we must approach this in a efficient manner. What do we call madness? Is the person who is the victim of attack because they are different what we call mad? Is it the ruler who is irrefutable and destroys their nation mad? These two things cannot be the same, and yet we conflate them. What is happening with the priestess may not be safe, but to simply call it madness is to fail to understand the true danger that you have uncovered, and to put all of these spiderkin in potential mortal peril. We must understand where I cannot escape my burden of empathy. You are where we defend ourselves. It is a delicate balance that must be struck, and we must choose our words around this place carefully and do the good we know we should do for the most people possible.
Sure.
That's so funny that after Ocean's like, we need to take this all seriously, and Bogdan just...
No. It is. Having heard what Ocean
Yeah,
has
yeah.
said. This. Yeah. Okay.
It's funny though. Made me laugh.
Would you say that we might get a clearer image of what is taking place if we descend?
A clearer image.
It laughed.
It would. Whatever sleeps here will only be stronger the further we go. Whether that affects our minds, whether it has a physical manifestation that could, whether we would find a way to the plane of shadow, I do not know. A clearer image, yes, but I cannot even calculate the risk.
I completely agree. I think that we obviously leave this thing as contained as possible, and Oshun's going to stop herself from saying remove the spiderkin and glance over her shoulder.
There are spiderkin.
Oh no, I was like afraid
Yeah.
of like the priestess, but it's funny that the spiderkin's just there, like
The
like
priestess
a
is just like-
SpongeBob sardine.
Yeah, no, the mad priestess may be, well,
Every time we turn around, there are more spiderkins.
you do know that she can use shrouding magic to hide herself. So.
Oh no, I don't like it with I love spiders, big ones, not small ones. They're gross. I do not like spiders that disappear and I don't know where they are.
Yeah,
okay?
you don't know where. Actually, you take a little wild look around. She is at the back of the structure. She's actually climbing up one of the fangs for some reason. You can just see like the silhouette. Drea will say, much as we contained and killed the forest, we can contain and can kill whatever umbral manifestation this place has.
Oshun's going to delicately cover her lips. Very delicately.
Drea's just like too... Yeah, she doesn't react to that.
Yeah, whatever. Fucking kill her. I don't...
Yeah.
I respect.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. I insist. So you are a priest.
You.
Neil just doesn't want to talk. That's it.
Put it off.
Whatever it is, it seems to only afflict a single individual. If we remove its connection to whatever's happening here, the problem may be solved.
Oshun's gonna turn around, scoop up a spiderkin with one arm, and just sort of look it in the face and just be like, try and communicate with it.
They are immediately extremely unnerved by being picked up and will like tumble squirm out of your arms.
It bites you.
Yeah, and it's a male too, so it's small.
So little.
Oh no.
And by small I mean they're human shape, right? So like 5 foot, maybe a little less.
Oshun will crouch down.
Yeah, it's just kind of
Hands on knees. And just attempt to communicate. Carry on.
they speak Undercommon. They just don't want to speak to you. They don't have anything much to say.
Talked.
Yeah, they understood you last time. They just kind of were waiting for the big Mama Jama to come by.
Ah.
Um,
Oshun's going to be trying to communicate with this spiderkin.
if you
Talk, damn you!
If you want to start interrogating the local populace, I think that's a good thing to do after a break.
Yay!
So
have
we'll...
Except with like many more legs, so it's like.
Yeah, each leg needs to clap. With a new mysterious individual the party has encountered, we'll be right back after these messages.
These messages.
Yeah. And we're back. Dun 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 dun. So, you while everyone else is working out a plan, you want to talk to some spiderkin, Ocean? Go ahead and give me a persuasion check. Yeah, go ahead and give me a persuasion check, because this isn't actually really about what you say. It's kind of whether or not they'll speak to you.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Can I offer them a little bit of food?
Sure.
That's how I win over people.
Do you have food to offer?
I have, I should have some rations or something, right?
Been a long time.
Just ask a pregnant woman if she has food on her.
The surprising answer is, I think probably not, because you'll never buy things.
Oh, even with my 5.
Yeah, that's not a great roll. You're not sure what it is. They're not very talkative. Maybe just because it's a male, and by nature submissive and
He's like tap 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 tap.
yeah. Well, it's literally in the Spider King culture, you can the females are bigger and stronger and the fighters. The males are just kind of their purpose is to impregnate and maybe some other things. But yeah, he's not really interested in talking to you. The others aren't really interested in talking to you, and it's weird, but it's also not surprising. I think Ocean has had quite a few encounters with this species before she ascended, and they don't really want much to do with other people, or even they're not really social. It's weird to have such a huge gathering on them because there's no like games being played around a fire or songs or because they don't really do that largely.
Spiders just like to hang out.
Yeah, they just kind of hang. They don't need conversation. So conversation doesn't really come from you trying.
Can I address a small gathering of them then?
You can. They won't be very receptive, but you can talk at them.
He's gonna be like, try. When I say it, it's gonna sound patronizing, but just imagine that when she says it, it is comforting.
Yeah.
Just like, hello. All right.
I just had, unrelated to Ocean's current efforts, I just had such a bad idea. I want to do it.
What is it? Don't step on them.
Law keeping on the ruins. The last time someone tried this, they got a dragon in their head.
Yeah, this isn't a dragon mark. You do get... Oh, this is a bad idea. Ocean walked away. So Ashal does weird magic.
She's going to yank on the baby.
Ocean's trying to be the cool youth pastor talking to the kids.
Yo.
You put a gnarled, long-fingered hand on the wall, cold to the touch. You've already deciphered what the words say, but you know there's more. There is an intelligence to it, and you briefly feel your mind kind of almost enter the stone. It's kind of... You very quickly almost see the inside of the asylum. Give me an intelligence check to see what you can decipher.
Come on, give me a good
It would be one of those things where, to Tumulus and Bogdan, when Ashal touches the thing, I don't remember if you do the eye flash thing. A lot of people with law keeping do. I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
I don't think you did.
No, I think Ashal's would be a lot subtler.
Yeah. Usually when people cast law keeping, there's like a like eye flash.
Yeah.
But this, you can see the shadow magic like up the arm and into the face and like through
Am
the
I
tendrils.
still connected?
No, right,
Nah.
like
Unless explicitly stated, you're usually not connected. You decouple from the wall.
Gross.
It is like a, and maybe there is even like a little bit of smoke, like a wisp. It's kind of like a wisp of blue, which is different to the magic like in the wall. It's like a different color. While you know what just happened, you didn't retain anything from it. You know, it's like
Now
yeah.
it's a part of you forever.
No, he didn't roll that bad, but that would have been fun.
Did you say I can't interpret it or recall?
Yeah, you can't
anything?
reinterpret. Like, you know that was successful and that you communicated. Maybe this is a thing you could do for longer. You don't even know if this would still be here if whatever's in is removed.
Noted.
Do Bogdan and Tumulus react to that whole someone touched the Infinity Stone thing?
Only insofar as Bogdan will make an expression like, I wouldn't have done that.
Tumulus raises a non-existent eyebrow at Ashal questioningly.
Then Ocean won't fucking notice, I guess.
Yep.
Shall
one
just
making a
sort
noise.
of. I thought maybe it would tell me more of the inside.
It appeared to me that something entered you. Are you okay?
I cannot recall what I saw, experienced. Not yet.
Well, perhaps in the future we don't touch the insane asylum scribblings.
What he said.
Ocean.
Ashal doesn't respond to that.
Yeah. Ocean.
Ocean's like, Ocean says what?
Yeah. It's continuing from that persuasion check from before, because we weren't doing an individual interaction. This is more, you are trying to interact with the Spiderkin. They're not real. They're not opposed to your presence. But if you're
Like
trying
the
to
King Kong scene, you're juggling, you're doing, I can't remember
The backwards
Peter
part
Jackson.
flip.
Peter Jackson, yeah.
That movie fucked me up. I was there to
film,
have a
good
jolly good time with a big gorilla, and then a man is dragged through a catacomb of giant insects.
that's relevant. That's relevant
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
bit with the yeah.
what the fuck? What the fuck?
You know what's a good movie?
Literally traumatized me. Anyway,
Kong Skull Island. King Kong uses helicopter blades as like a knife. That's cool.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
that.
right.
I like
I have
that.
to admit, it was enjoyable. My first big monkey experience was.
Oh yeah, Kong
I
Skull
really-
Island
I
is
quite-
just
I
a
quite
dumb
enjoy that,
movie,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
like
it is, but it's
I
enjoyable.
like that.
It's the old vet that gets me. It's like that semi-comedy actor who plays him, and it's
Yes,
it's
that
like
guy
they
who's in
cast
everything.
him
Is it
just
John C.
right.
Reilly?
I can't remember the name.
Ah.
He's in everything.
The Ocean, yeah, your presence among the Spiderkin, they do not. First of all, they don't really question it. They definitely see you as close enough to them to not be scared. And Spiderkin tend to be skittish, especially among usurper elves, depending on the sect, or clutch, I guess would be how you describe a group of Spiderkin. I know, right? So, like, they're not opposed to your presence. If you want to sit by their little dumpster fire and be warm, then sure. You try to start up conversations, you might get occasionally one-word responses in Undercommon.
Yes.
But not...
No.
Yeah. You
I
don't really get
can't
much.
picture their voices. They're definitely not low voices, but they're definitely not high voices either.
Yeah! This is one of those things. I don't think... They don't speak much. I think there's a lot of non-verbal communication. That's a verb.
Ocean, like, going through the teenage phase with these things. Just like, so how was your day?
Oh, God.
Yeah, mundane questions like that don't get anything. If you actually go so far as to ask, like, are you happy here? There's like a, of course, and stuff like that. But
Why did you come here?
safety.
From what?
One will actually. Well, you know what? Give me a persuasion check, Big Mama. Spiders together strong. That is kind of the vibe right now. That's a 20!
Yes!
Okay, that's good. You asked that question, and a spiderkin will come out of a nearby tent. A little older, some cracks in the chitin. No beard, but like large
It's definitely a curly head.
pseudo
spider.
hair. Yeah, they sometimes have these like some have hair anyway, and sometimes they have like these spines, a bit like dragonkin. And there's kind of like these long curly spines, and the in their second set of limbs, they've got like a stick. Like, so and you asked why you come here. It wasn't safe there before, and she will say, when chaos erupted over the aether sky, we saw opportunity to find a place. Narashiro was not that place, but thousands of us believed it to be so. If the goddess who birthed us set that place in stone, was it not for us?
Damn, she's laying down some like.
You got a 20. The answer, no. And like the other people are listening now. They're like listening to her.
You just got to get through that awkward small talk phase. And
You
then
gotta
can
get through the
get-
small talk when you meet new people. The answer, no. This place we have been led to may be for us. The goddess. Only some of us see her webs. Only some of us walk her webs. But we feel them here. The weight of us on the web all together. Are we the spider or the fly? Either is our purpose here.
Here, no. You can't use the tri-beam. It uses your vital energy. It's a Dragon Ball Z reference for you non...
I thought it was an Astro Boy reference for a second there. No, like, there's no way Neil's referencing Astro Boy.
No, Ian just started doing this, and I was expecting him to start shouting Kiko Ho, but, you know.
Don't call me that. Oh, sure. How would you respond to that? The wizened spider.
We are both children of Ivrith. I'm going to guess that I say. And then she'll lean further forwards and say, it's not safe here. There is literally writing on the walls. Something sleeps beneath. We must find the home for the spiderkin on less fraught ground. I know the travel is hard. I know you have constantly been moving, and I can't ask you to move again, but neither can I ask you all to die here.
Tell me. Do you see a land that is safe? For our people have traveled for safety since the age of Fang, and found it lacking. There is always something beneath the stone under our claws, be it malign or nay, as there is always something above.
Oshun's going to be crying now because, like, it's like just experiencing this, like, it's a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm. She will keep probably speaking a little, and like they don't really react to crying. They don't cry. The stone beneath the realm has all manner of threats. The brood of dragons, gods slumbering, and machinations violent. This place offers safe walls and safe protectors. Find us a safe hearth, and perhaps a new pilgrimage will begin, as this one had.
I will, I promise you. Can I ask, when I was in the caves beneath Narashiro, I saw a few of your kind. What drove you from the safety of the catacombs?
There was no safety. There never is.
Did not Ivrith put you beneath the earth?
Many of us.
Would she not welcome you home again?
Ithrith, yes. Many of us confluxed upon the capital at the behest of what may have been her words, only to find ourselves overcrowded in a chaos. This place is more befitting. I am sure there are many that remain. There are many that will return. But that city is not safe for us. That's,
I will find you.
The asylum. Go ahead.
I'll search for a new... What's the name of a spider home? It's not a hive.
I guess a nest.
A nest. New nest.
Good
Just
luck.
in Japanese, it's literally a like spider's nest. It does use the word for nest.
That's
Just a
cool.
random
What's
fact.
what's it called?
Appropriate.
It would use the word for su, which is this nest. Actually, I think it's
That's
Hachisu.
appropriate because Narashiro.
Yeah,
is
that would be
very-
great. If I remembered it. I'd love to use that.
I think I would call it a hatchling nest. then.
Yeah, it's like something like
Sounds
that.
it.
yeah. Kumonosu.
That's a nest of
Spider-
bears.
spider-
man.
That's
web.
that's like what you
Mob.
could call the place if you found it. There's kind of like a. It's something you would have seen a gazillion times before, even if it's coming from a spiderkin. An elder not believing in the abilities of a youngster. It's just sort of. And like returning inside. I imagine around then you go back to the party or the party gets back to you. And you can start to work out what you want to do with your lives. Decide now.
I
Accounting.
have some part of an idea. If she will allow me, I would like to request that this particular spiderkin journey with us back to Jarviskjir and to lay her tail at the foot of the one who commissioned us. What do you think?
Discuss.
We will pass responsibility to another
I thought you were going to say, we will pass.
into the west. Tumulus is diminished.
Well.
These creatures have found a home here. Foul magic once took my home from me. If I can wrest one for another, by my death I will.
You have my sword.
I say we venture into the ruins. Your goddess is born of shadows, no. Maybe her protection will be with us in there.
Am I able to commune with Ivrith?
At a certain level. Right now,
There's a
it's-
specific spell.
Right now,
Help me.
you and it you know, and that's definitely going to be one of those things is that like the relationship between usurper elves and Idris is incredibly personal to those who are chosen, and you have probably communicated with her in ways before. Right now, you can talk. You probably won't get an answer. What you can do is perform ceremonies, which may garner not necessarily a response, but will. I don't know if there's a ceremony that would fit this. If you don't have the spell ceremony on your sheet, you should look it up. There are a lot of ceremonies you can do. And also, a bit like how Ashal has done some magic that isn't really in their rules, if you have ideas for a ceremony, you can use the ceremony spell to cast it. It's a first level spell.
So what about if we use Bogdan's heart?
It's got things like weddings and
Tubulus's liver.
it's got things like weddings and the Jarviskjir friend wedding, which has occurred
You don't have it
because
prepared, no. Actually,
Now I do.
no, you don't.
Yes,
Don't
I do.
cheat.
I never change my spells because
well,
I've
then there's
never
your fault.
had to before.
Well, this is the thing. Like, you need a long rest to do that. So
Oh my god.
Well, you could if you're going to be going down into a tomb, you're probably going to want a long rest and prepare anyway. So maybe you could do it beforehand. But yeah, these are the ones that are as a default. Wedding is always a good one. Dedication is I've seen started happening in Critical Role recently. Basically, using dedication as like a roleplay thing for we want to kind of push this religious connection. And while it gives you a benefit, and it's actually a pretty cool one, a pretty useful one, especially if you're going into a tomb, it won't be you're having a chat with the old goddess, but that might be a thing to basically cast the dedication ritual on yourself tomorrow morning before you go in.
I love that wedding says you touch adult humanoids willing to be bonded together in marriage, and I'm like,
Yeah, and the other thing is
gender is real.
there's a specific point to marriage in Jarviskjir as well, and as a priestess you would know it.
Yeah, it's a +2 AC
It's
bonus.
a plus 2 AC. Marriage bonds souls together after death. You will.
I mean, that's what I signed up for.
You will end up in the same place.
So not a
So
lot
if
of
one of you sins,
Regardless.
After we die, we point at each other. We're like, same hat.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's why I said the Jarviskjir friend wedding, because it doesn't necessarily have to, like, you can still do that to other people. You have to have a really strong bond, but, you know, if you want to no homo it, or slight homo as it has been usually in Jarviskjir.
you do have to murder your friend if you want to get another.
Yeah.
So, like, you're constantly in this flux of getting.
If you want to choose bros before hoes permanently, then you can. But just so you know, that's probably the closest way to do it right now, and it kind of has a cool magical benefit. You know, you could really flavor it as you talk to Ivrith and get a level of protection from it. If you did like the dedication ritual, it would have to be in the morning. You'd have to rest here.
And Oshun's going to go back over to the little group and like crouch down again and say to the elder spiderkin, we are going to journey beneath to see if this land may remain stable so that you and yours can stay here in peace. However, our second plan, if you're willing, would you mind coming with us to the one who asked us to locate you and make sure that the spiderkin are safe? You may lay your story at her feet, and she may be able to help you.
You can give me a persuasion check.
Come on, +5. Don't fail me.
Ocean has been the
now.
classic example of, fat bonus to persuasion. Terrible rolls. Have you
I was
shown...
actually laughing at Bacon's terrible joke.
Jaken's a dad. He can legally do that joke. The spider elder will just look at you. You have shown me no force of will or skill to trust such a plan. Perhaps one or two will take you up on such an offer.
I'll be back. I'll show the skill when I smash her head in.
I say that, but more nicely. We're gonna go. Hopefully, by the time I come back, you'll have changed your mind because it'll be
Sure.
so powerful.
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
To the depths!
Well, first,
Maybe?
what sort of point in the quote-unquote day, what point in the night is it? Are we getting tired? Is this...
It would be a good idea to rest and eat. Yeah. You could
Fair?
justify
'Cause
a
I
long
was gonna
rest.
suggest, realistically, we might want to try and find an entrance to down below before night,
Yeah.
before rest. But
That would be very wise. A very dungeon delvy thing. Take a long rest, but as part of that long rest, you're kind of poking around. Not actually really going in, but just saying, okay, where will we enter? What will we do? Will we have water for the journey? That is a very wise idea before you enter the Fanged Asylum. So you can basically use parts of the camp here and start poking around. It takes very little time to find the entranceway. It is at the back, near where the Mad Priestess is hanging out. And it's just sort of a doorway that leads downwards. There are windows, but the windows have crumbled and closed at time. This is probably the best way you're going to find inside. And with that, you can kind of rest up. Is there anything any of you all would like to do while you rest? Such as changing your spell slots for the day ahead?
Yes.
Or anything else?
Well, that sounds made up, but I think Bogdan will take some time to find a quiet spot alone, and he has this mantra that he says to the voice, and it's very intimate, and so he wants to be alone for it.
It's one of those things where it's a little hard to find a place that's alone at first, where you can be alone.
Everyone assumes that he just wants to masturbate.
So
Spiders don't do that.
It's a very quiet place, but it's a little hard to find a path that's alone. But you find one, an area to go, and yeah, pray isn't the right word.
Yeah, it's more like when you're out on a trip and you call your SO at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. And if he truly can't find solace, he will speak deep speech. Because as long as he's
Good
away
idea.
from a shawl, no one will understand.
Yeah, good idea. Anything else anyone else wants to do while they're sort of camping here?
Charles, that creepy friend that turns up just behind your shoulder there, and you're like,
No, Ashal's also going to go off and find a place of relative solitude to do something very stupid, because Ashal does not have any sense of self-preservation. I would like to come up with admittedly a bit of an impromptu one, but a bit more of a ritual to connect a bit more with whatever this thing is. I've got obviously a combination of like lore keeping cast over a longer time. I've obviously got my telepathy, my natural telepathy. I can speak Umbral. I will make a magic circle in with the Umbral runes and language.
He's delving too deep, space him.
This is one of those things where you can start doing that. You can start ruminating on Umbral. You can start jotting down the words of warning on the walls. Start ruminating on what this might be, whether it could be something that you could communicate. That's all. You would know better than to go truly ham until you've explored the inside.
Fair enough.
But you can start your journal of shadowy studies. Okay.
Ocean's just gonna do that ceiling stare where she's like, how did we get here?
The fangs of the ruin loom over, creaking.
We weren't going to go down into the thing before.
Okay.
Pull
After
the spiderkin, it squeaks like a dog toy.
inside the ruin, there's going to be a side quest like Hollow Knight. You're going to have to save the grubs in the jars and take them back to the camp.
Yeah, they're so
cute.
Just as long as it's not the carry the flower.
I actually really enjoyed when we did the carry the flower quest on stream. I don't know, I kind of did.
When we did it, it was rough.
I'm just a better gamer. Which is saying something, because I'm not very good.
Someone find me his death counter.
I beat Radiant's first try when we played it on stream. Admittedly, it was my second playthrough. But still, that's something.
How many goes did it take to beat?
Nightmare King Grim was not defeated. Nightmare King Grim was never defeated.
Beat Nightmare King Grim.
Ollie's just built different, guys.
Now you've got to do Steel Soul.
Oh god.
Well, I was thinking about doing a randomizer run.
I'm here for that.
I really enjoyed watching Hollow Knight, actually. I think it's a very enjoyable game.
You
to
heard it
watch.
here first. That's a thing I might do when I'm recovered. Speaking of recovering, with 8 hours of sleep, meditation, repairs, rest, maybe getting a little bit of food from the camp, it's a you are ready to start heading inside. Zoe, make sure you choose your spells wisely for the day ahead, knowing that whatever you find down in the Fanged Asylum.
Yes.
Remember, you do need to take off certain spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of your spells you'll have forever, some you need to choose from. Ian can oversee that.
Ian's overseeing that.
I need to check which ones the Grave Cleric spells
They,
are.
I usually put them as the first ones, so that you always know.
Unfortunately, I wasn't clever enough to do that when I set this up for them.
I've just built different.
It's I know it's Gentle Repose.
Oh shit.
Gentle Repose, Ray of Enfeeblement, Bane, and False Life.
Oh really?
So
Cool.
You can grab a drink. Termulus will ask Bogdan how he enjoyed his alone time. You see, my dick fell. No.
That long fell off.
You know, I don't know if that was canon or not, but Drea would definitely, you know, in the morning when people are getting ready and Ocean is still, like, meditating, would straight up ask Bogdan, you left the camp for some time. And I guess state with questioning intent.
Yeah. Bogdan would just look her in the eyes and go, I did.
She stares for a while.
Shall we roll for blinking contest?
Yeah.
Staring contest?
What is that, like Constitution?
I think that's
I'll roll a Constitution.
I've got my
Just to check, right?
Yeah, just a Constitution check. This isn't a saving throw. Oh, her sheet.
Hey guys, I heard there was a blinking contest I'm in.
Yeah, it's a Constitution check.
Something fluttered into Bogdan's eye, obviously.
I
who
don't
knows?
have to blink. I'm
Drea
neat.
does roll kind of bad. Oh no, I cheated.
Oh, no. She murdered me.
Oh no, you
No, I
cheated.
I have to
Oh,
re-roll.
you gotta keep the 6, I guess. Darn.
No. We re-roll.
Oh my god, they're both bad, but once they're both like stare and they're like,
Does
Now that I've asserted my dominance, I go back to my rations.
I think we've got Zoe's spells set up.
Okay. Do you want to start delving into the Fanged Asylum?
Ceremony first.
Yes, do you want to cast your ceremony first, or are you not?
I was gonna say I have protection from good and evil, but I can only cast it 3 times. There are 4 of us, and only lasts 10 minutes. So ceremony is probably a better.
It's concentration, isn't it?
Is it? Well, yeah. So y'all are screwed.
Extremely good in this situation, I feel.
Yeah.
But,
Relevant, I'd say.
no, I actually think it will be fantastic in this situation. Protection from good and evil is such a good spell. I slept on it for my first few years of D&D.
And I accidentally cast it because I still don't know how this sheet works.
No, you know. It's just letting us
Anyway, that's
know
what it
you can
does,
do.
chat. Yeah, that was for y'all.
Here's the question. Who's going to step down first? It's a wide stairwell. But who's going to lead?
Tumulus will.
Tumulus leading? Okay. Good.
Tumulus has a vendetta.
And here's the other question. Do you want to take Drea with you, or do you want Drea to guard the outside?
Drea. I love Drea.
As
I
an
don't know.
NPC, it'll be easier for
does.
me if you leave her outside.
Okay, we'll leave her outside. I was going to say, Drea probably knows Spare the Dying.
Now, when you say easier for you, do you mean easier for you to kill us all, or
Easier for me not managing a DMPC.
Yeah, okay. We'll leave her outside, Ollie, but don't you forget this.
She'll be out. She's within a yell distance. For a few
I
rooms
mean,
in.
how good-natured we are about allowing you. I swear.
Yeah, you know, I'm only doing my job. I only want a little less work. Like,
The
come
DM
on.
will remember this.
Ocean will cast ceremony first. I think.
Yep.
Okay. The dedication one.
Now 3.
So how
Yes.
how is this going to look? Because again, you're not exactly the type to do rituals by the book, and even if they were by the book, an usurper elf ritual might look different to most.
She's gonna spin on her head. How would this go? I'm just imagining candles, but that's shitty.
I mean, you might have candles.
I think it's going to be her sat down on the ground in a comfortable way, so like legs a little out to the side, not like crossed or in lotus position or something.
I did also briefly think legs freaking.
It's Spider Frog.
Pose.
Oh my wow.
But she's like, the spider legs are going to form a strange kind of like. Wait, is this getting too Shiva-y? Like,
We can always
I
get
don't
more
want to-
Shiva-y.
True. I don't want to be like it's like this, but
Well, it's
I
not.
suppose it is a
It's
bit
based
like
on Kali.
of arms behind her back. You
Well,
know how it is.
the symbol of Idrith is basically that. right? You could
Yeah,
you could
it's a
make the
pseudo-
symbol with your legs. Yeah. And it is one of those things where you talk to her, pray to her, and you feel stronger for it. You feel stronger for it. And that is almost definitely a good thing. Now, I warn you, this dungeon may make your computer heat up. And the stream might crash.
Hells yeah. That's fine, because what we're going to do is we're going to heat up the computers so much. Jaken's computer is going to kick out so much heat that the hot air is going to push all the pollen to the top of the room, freeing him of his...
Curse.
You say that, but my computer currently has a heating issue. This is my new CPU, so let's not do that.
I can change things if it's too much.
No.
But
I can hear the fan go.
To be fair, it would have a pretty...
Oh, yeah,
serious
Zoe's
roll
laptop is
20
gonna
pushed it
melt.
over the edge.
Yeah, the fan suddenly went on Zoe's laptop.
Oh,
so...
it did the classic thing of loading the second after I pressed restart. Good. I love it when I do that.
It knows that you're reaching towards that button, and it's just like you're playing a game of chicken with you.
Oh, one sec. Chat.
Oh. What?
Can you hear the sound of my laptop?
Yes!
That only started when the dungeon loaded.
Oh, no, This is an experiment of limits.
Noted.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just get my heat on the other monitor.
Oh,
so I
the
can
stream
make sure I
the
don't-
stream is
Ow.
even creaking a little bit because I have to have this open twice.
No. My heat's fine. Take that, Zoe's laptop.
Didn't manage to get Jaken in heat, guys.
But let me describe what you see as you go down a few sets of stairs. First of all, some cobwebs, but not egregiously so. The inside of this place has, in some parts, returned to stone. In other parts, it's still flagstone. All very dark. As black as possible. There is this glowing blue light that hangs in the air, very similar to a dancing light, all surrounding this doorway isn't exactly the right term, but a barrier made of chain and little loops of metal. Kind of impromptu barrier, not a true door. It's still taking me a sec to load it on stream. Here it is, maybe. But what? Oh, and I forgot to mention the cages. There are some humanoid-sized
This isn't
cages.
an insane asylum. This is a usurper elf asylum.
I love asylums. They're just so spooky. Have
Yeah.
you seen- what's that movie? It's Session 9, isn't it?
Plan 9 from outer space.
No.
Spooky.
I'm pretty sure it's Session 9. It's a phenomenal, like, it's a horror film, but it's not like horror. It's like creeping under your skin kind of creepy, which is really good.
Yes. What are your first impressions upon this place?
You know what I should have done? I should have got check for traps.
Well, you know, the entranceway to the dungeon, the loading screen is usually fine.
So
Come on,
this
roll
is
20.
this is
Come on, roll
creepy
20.
chain gate, right?
Uh,
This bit down here.
Yeah, you guys can see it. Chat can't right now.
Okay.
Was this always the plan? To
This was-
descend into this hellscape?
For some of you, yes.
This was Tumulus's plan, and this was Charles' plan once
Yeah.
they became much more interested after nearly having their life.
Tamulus spoke with enough zealotry that you were like, announce the crusade!
Oh boy, here we go, a bonking again.
Yeah.
Spelunking.
So yeah, as you can see, this field of blue light that hangs in the air is mobile.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. I was like, Huh.
It emanates from the doorway, the warded chain fence. Beside it, a scroll has been kind of knife pinned to the wall, but it's knife pinned, but it's furled up. It's very weird. Yeah, down here's the doorway. It is also the light is actually light, right? It is casting light, so you can see quite easily down here.
What does the scroll say?
What does the scroll say?
You want to pick up the scroll?
If I have to read it, yes.
Yeah, it's curled up. You have to unfurl it.
It's spelled up. Yes, okay, I will pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
You unfurl it, and a spider leaps out.
Scary
Onto your
Bilbo
face.
leaps out onto your face.
Oh. God, that terrified me when I was younger. Not
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you please give me a wisdom saving throw?
It's scary, Bilbo.
Scary Bilbo is inside the house.
Oh dear.
The furl, the scroll unfurls. You first realize that it's made of a very weird parchment.
Skin.
Kind of a dark, leathery material with a little bit of a satiny texture. There even appears to be spaces where an eye and a mouth would have been. And that's when it kind of just...
Skin.
And as
He does
Charles...
creepy Bilbo.
It's not spoilers. I'm a librarian. One day I will find a human skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was a punishment for prisoners to be made into books.
Well,
You know,
how
that's
else are
why-
Please
people
roll
gonna-
initiative.
That's why we left your nation.
That
right there.
How else are people gonna learn from their mistakes?
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Can everyone please roll initiative?
Yes.
As Charles gets attacked by a scroll. Oh, then I get the nat 20!
Yay! Ashar got a natch 20.
On initiative! I
Well
wanted that on the
done.
intelligence check yesterday, or even that wisdom save.
Where's my dice?
Oh, that was nearly a 1.
I periodically glance over at Jake and I could just see that he's suffering.
Yeah, we're
Throughout
only gonna
the
do
stream,
we're only gonna do a
he's
room or
slowly-
so of the dungeon.
He's slowly wilted.
I'm getting lower too.
I feel that.
Do you have antihistamine?
Daily.
I don't
Daily.
know whether it's flu or not. What if it is?
I hope it's not flu.
I mean, me too. Me too. Like, I didn't mean to sound so
Like-
foreboding.
We kept my parents away from the kids because they had the flu. So if I brought my mother over to babysit and I have the flu, then that's gonna be a dick move.
That yeah.
Mm.
Then you're the son of a bitch.
Well,
Well, yeah,
Hang
no,
on.
I realized what I did by accident the second it left my mouth as well.
Foreign infection. The true disease is puns.
Foot in mouth disease. Ashal, you unfurl the scroll pinned to the wall, and it comes
Get more
unpinned.
good ideas from Ashal.
Well, in fact,
Well,
you
no one
find
else is moving in the freaking dungeon.
you find yourself unpinning the scroll, and it kind of hangs free in the air.
You're
It
gonna put
has
it on
a
your face?
whisper into your mind of a "no one must enter this place." And you are
That's
dominated by the weirding scroll. And feel free to attack your comrades with your 20.
Of course, you rolled a natural 20.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna drop right in the middle of everyone.
Oh boy. Oh, it's a strength save.
Everyone make me a strength save. Ocean, you have a plus D4 to this.
I mean, to be fair, everyone's got pretty decent strength apart from Oshun, but
And you have a D4 to it, which is very good.
you have a D4, you're
Oh,
guaranteed to
thank
pass
you.
my DC.
Okay, so
What do we-
everyone
what do we-
takes the
no
sight.
damage if we save.
Is it no damage or the?
It says no damage at the top. What is it?
It's more damage if you
Yeah.
fail and collide. So, yeah,
It's
nothing.
only on a failure they take damage. If they don't take that, they don't take
Okay, Ashal, takes the scroll from by the warded door, turns. Vroom, there is a pulling sensation that you've seen Ashal cast on others, but it's different when you're in the spell. You can see much more of the pulling, twisting storm. You see the scroll kind of floating behind Ashal and kind of whispering. And it's gonna fly a little bit. Yeah. Bogdan!
Paper cut.
You resist this? The scroll made of usurper elf skin is floating towards you, and Ashal is clearly dominated by it. There's no, like, magic effect on him, but...
Tentacles are just going...
But if a scroll is whispering to the person and they attack you, I mean, you don't need to do an intelligence check to work that one out.
Or does he?
Okay. He didn't get a save at the end of his turn?
Good question. I don't know how spells work. I'm the DM.
That wasn't me trying to rules lawyer. This is me trying to determine if this spell is worth casting.
Yeah. It's a good check.
Because if he gets a save, you could
Then
protect him.
I could protect.
But
And if he doesn't, then I'm just gonna...
It doesn't... they do not make a save at the end of their turn.
Alright, in that case.
In that case,
Bogdan,
yeet.
Bogdan, I guess, is just going to... You say it's coming towards me?
Kinda. It's coming in your
It's
direction.
like flirtatiously towards you. It's a little bit, but not.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to get close to that thing. So, I'm going to go ahead and just hit it with a frostbite, I think.
the scroll is moving like a tongue, like...
Yeah, kinda. Like a tongue in slow motion. Constitution save from the scroll. It's gonna fail. It's gonna take 2 cold
Oh,
damage.
thank God. That would have been depressing if a scroll was...
Its modifier is positive.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's made of skin.
Skin not renowned for being particularly tough, but okay. All right, it does have disadvantage on its next weapon attack roll, and I'm just gonna scoot over next to my good friend, the dead guy.
Speaking of a dead guy,
Ocean's
Shun, your initiative isn't on the sheet. What was
I
it?
forgot to touch myself.
I'm out.
Did not know it was that kind of stream.
Well, I mean,
Same number,
Bogdan already
pretty much.
jerked off earlier.
With a shawl watching.
That is not canon.
It is.
No, it's not canon. But the rest of the party may believe you did. And honestly, fair. You know, been on the road a while. So in which case, it's actually Oshun's turn next.
Oh.
What would you like to do?
Um.
Ashal has turned on you. Finally, the Squidman can no longer be trusted.
Let me see.
You will have a harder time seeing. Your dark vision is no longer as strong as it used to be. But this room is fully illuminated due to the dancing light.
I like my dark vision.
You still got a little
It's gonna
bit.
just bound. And hopefully, like, eventually we can work out some kind of flanking. Cover your ears.
It's like cornering in like a greased pig.
Yeah.
Gets on the ground and the tentacles help him scuttle along.
Alright, is there anything else you'd like to do, Ocean, or is that you?
Trying to figure out. You know what? I'm not going to focus on Ashal. I'm going to Toll the Dead.
Oh, on the
On
thingy. It has
the paper.
advantage on wisdom saves, which is good because it actually made it save a 1. And it's going to succeed that check.
It's paper.
It's a face. And paper. It can be both.
You know, sometimes you can bear a lot of wisdom from a face paper.
Yeah. It's face paper that's possessed your friend. I mean... high wisdom or high charisma?
Hard. Charles a damsel in distress.
Bogdan!
Yeah.
No, we did you. Tumulus.
Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Except I don't move 6, I move 5 because I'm slow. And then I will dash. 1, 2, 3. Why not face off with someone who has a similar face?
Okay. Would you like to rage or anything on that with that like?
No.
Okay. Ashal, would you like to rage?
I would very much like to rage. I am going to try and hit Tumulus for Mind Sliver.
You know, this is when you can project
Intelligence
all of those
save.
things
Boy, an
that
intelligence
are so
save.
deeply
Exactly.
repressed.
This is why I let players play themselves when they're mind controlled, because
Lord,
it's very satisfying to finally
Ah,
beat up your
express-
other characters with DM permission.
Yes, you may kill your friend. Finally!
The Weirding Scroll is going to try and kind of attack at Tumulus, but it is chilled. And it kind of tries to move and shift, but it's cold. And you see kind of this like tendril of elvish script kind of come from the mouth. But it can't like emanate properly because of the chill.
Nice.
Oh, shun.
Oh shit, that was fast.
The most tired dab in the world. It was fast because I had to re-scoot you on the timeline.
I just confused myself a little bit because I have a lot of attacks and spell casting like in that table,
That box,
but not
yeah.
the same ones that have been prepared.
No, unfortunately.
No, it just
you
if
can't.
it's in there, it'll be there just in case. It's
Yeah,
not smart
that
enough to
just
recognize what you haven't been prepared or not.
Spiritual heal weapon, not healing. The other one, the one that does the damage.
Yes.
I
I don't know if I can get your scythe for you, but you're going to be attacking the thing.
don't worry about it. Yeah, just gonna fling it. Just huck.
That's
and it'll go-
definitely that's definitely going to be a hit.
Yay! Take that, paper face. Level 2. Ooh,
That's
I like
definitely
this
a Batman
one
villain.
more.
Yeah, that is a Batman villain. I
It
was
does
thinking
sound
that.
like one.
Your paper face. Wow, that dice
That
went
is
through all of the good
nice.
rolls and ended on a bad one, huh? But it is going to take that damage. Prince Bogdan
She's-
Alabaster 5th.
So diagonal movement.
You can
Another
do it, but
thing-
it counts as 2. Usually we
Oh,
do
okay.
cardinal directions, so you can actually use the
Gotcha.
arrow keys on Roll20 to move characters.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way
But
to do
you
it.
can
Wednesday.
attack diagonally, right?
No.
You can attack diagonal if you have your reach. Bogdan
Which I do.
has reach.
Treasure.
Yeah.
You can
Well,
attack
yeah.
ranged in any way. But that's the
Okay.
the fire.
I'm gonna
Emblem
scoot
rules.
up, and then I'm gonna frostbite again. And I
just
rolled really well.
love the idea of
It saved this time.
Bogdan
Actually, no. What's your DC?
shooting up.
12.
12.
It saved.
Dang it. Yeah. Well, it's just a cantrip, so save or suck. I'm done.
Yep. Tumulus, save or suck. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Nice. I would like to bonk.
Bonk, 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 bonk,
Bonk.
to the stonk.
Bonk, bonk,
That's a
bonk.
hit.
Bonkerang. Bonk
There we
this
go.
man.
There's some damage. It's one of those things where you hit the
Now
thing
make
with
your
the...
concentration check on my
No.
man.
Doesn't need to. The flail hits the scroll, the flying scroll, and it just takes it to the ground. And then when you pull it back, it will kind of flutter back up, though much more frayed than before.
I really thought you were going to say something else that begins with scroll, and I was like, no, thank you.
Ashal!
I mean, I've got to take this fight seriously, even if the scroll is about to die.
Yeah.
I can't just...
Do you defend the scroll or
Well,
what?
I've got to. I'm like, I can't sandbag this and try and protect.
No,
Keep
I'm
my
the scroll guardian of the scroll.
No,
So-
I was like thinking, are you going to attack or are you going to go, oh no, the scroll?
Well, no, I mean, my best method of defense is attack.
Offense is the best defense.
At least, certainly for Ashal. I am going to twin spell, and
sorcerer.
I am going to mental spear Tumulus and Bogdan. Tumulus has a
Intelligence
-D4
saves, boys.
Save.
Just wait until he starts eating your brains.
That's true.
10 damage. Okay.
You have a -D4 Tumulus, and it does actually matter.
I rolled intelligence, but it's the same because I'm not proficient.
Oh,
Shove button.
okay. I see.
That's
Yeah. By or 4 roll.
I think I saved. So do I take half?
Yes,
or-
you will take.
Damn it, you're not stunned.
None of it. Yeah, you take
I'll take
nothing.
none of it.
Tumulus takes 10 psychic. Okay. The scroll
You've scratched me.
is going. I've been
It's but a scratch.
wounded. The scroll is going to try and attack Tumulus. Tumulus, what's your AC? Never mind. Natural 20.
16. It has disadvantage.
Doesn't this time. Attack missed.
I missed.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's going to be 10 psychic damage and 4 radiant damage as the scroll's tendril of words kind of start to into you. Ocean!
Yeah. Just gonna send that spiritual weapon cartwheeling back towards the papier.
Looks like calamari is back on the menu, boys.
I want you to soak in that shame for a moment.
I want to see some dice. Them Vegas desires.
That was close.
19 is good. That's a hit. Roll damage.
Woohoo!
Okay.
Why is this thing so shitty?
Remember that spiritual weapon is a bonus action.
It's only it's a bonus action.
But it's a bit slashy.
It's
a
an
bonus
amazing
action.
spell for a bonus action, but it is a bonus action.
Like, it's arguably like one of the best spells in D&D because it's not concentration and it's a bonus action.
But you don't need to worry about what else could happen because the scythe cuts through the face. Yeah, and it will just into like dust flakes. And Ashal,
It's gonna do that thing where a line appears and it goes.
yeah, and Ashal is freed from the domination.
A show!
Bogdan is going to stomp up to a shawl, make himself taller,
Gonna get a
and
stud
go,
talking to.
"What did I tell you about reading things?"
Ashal is torn between like being indignant and a bit of sheepishness because of like
So
obviously
he's like-
the result there.
He's like a kid. Shen, how did you even do that?
The good cop to Bogdan's bad cop and just be like, I appreciate your curiosity, but I think exercising some manner of caution before one goes exploring too deeply would be beneficial to all. We don't want anything terrible to happen to you again. And like, I don't she's not gonna point it out, but Oshun's missing 6 eyes.
Ashar would like visibly flinch at that and bow their head.
Put you on the fucking naughty step.
I apologize. I had thought it would be a note on warning away from this place.
And that it ended up being. Well, these things happen.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
You could.
Yeah,
She's very
Boggle-
tall.
It's true. Bogdan will reach up and kind of like slap him on the back, and just kind of like, you're all right.
All right.
And then check on Tumulus, make sure.
Ogden and Oshun, the parenting team.
Tumulus is smoking a little bit. Like, I mean,
I was like,
he got hit by radiant damage,
Yeah.
among many other things, which is particularly unpleasant.
Psychic damage and radiant damage. A little mind boggled, a little smoked.
well, I can
It was uncharacteristically bold of you.
Do you need healing, Tumulus?
I have a potion to spare if you need it.
That might not be a terrible idea.
Ashar will pull out a potion and a regular healing potion and hand it over.
Yeah, you have a potion.
Yeah.
He's hoarding them.
I'm pretty sure everyone had the same number of potions. The fact I
have any
don't,
potions.
the fact I don't use them because I'm generally the bad
I don't
guy.
know. I don't
Slash
remember
roll.
how many potions
I
you
don't
guys
have
have.
any. Slash roll 2d4
I
plus
know at some
2.
point you got some and you just kind of holding me. 2d4 plus 2, yeah, for a regular.
Oh, nice.
8 is pretty good. It's one of those ones where it takes the edge off. You feel stronger. And I think with that, that's an excellent place to leave off for today. For delving deeper into the asylum is to be done another time. So, with that, we're going to end off for the day. Thank you all for coming. Why don't we talk a little bit about what we have going on, starting with Jaken, our honored guest.
He's a prince, you know.
He's a prince.
Neil's just a guest.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Hi everyone, I'm Jaken. You can catch me over at twitch.tv/JakenSoul every Sunday, 6 p.m. CDT. And I do my own role-playing stream. And I'm very unwell. So that's all I got.
Tune in for some more Cedar Fever Fuels!
Hopefully I'll be well by Sunday.
yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'm feeling better. I've
I could
definitely
see him.
I've
literally
been in that
wilting.
position so many times, so I relate a lot. Someone I don't relate to, because they're just generally a shitter, is Neil. And I don't know that. I've never lived that life.
What is the shitter life?
You tell me, Mr. Shitter.
Hi,
No,
guys.
why are we too mean to Neil? We all
can
love
find-
Neil.
There is no too mean to Neil.
You can find me and my beautiful child here on twitch.tv/Derek, where I'm currently playing a kitsune. It's a fox boy, but I don't have any fox ears, so don't get any ideas. At least not when I'm in a human form. That's Pathfinder, by the way. So I have a plus 22 to stealth.
Fucking. That is the way to play Pathfinder. When I played it, I did a Skyrim stealth archer build. I just realized that, looking back. Ugh. And last is Ian and Zoe.
Last comes a rock.
Last comes Rock.
We are on less other things than these other two. But if you want more of me and Neil, there is the Monday.
So we weren't telling
Patreon.
people about that, Ian.
What?
No,
was
you
just
said
alluding
it
to
now. Say it again.
I said I
The
thought
whole class can hear.
I said I thought we weren't telling people about that, Ian. When you said if you want to see more of me and Neil.
Then go to our OnlyFans.
Yeah, there it is. There's the joke.
I mean, I do ship Tumulus and a Shard.
That's true.
Right?
But yeah, check out Ollie's Patreon. For one of the things that goes up on there is a Monday sort of podcasty, more relaxed thing that
You mean more
to-
chaotic?
I'd say it's less chaotic.
I shall talk. I shall talk to a demon wall today. There's chaos in all things.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, check that out.
And I sometimes drop in just
Yeah.
to add that chaos back in, like.
but what Zoe has been working on is, for those in live chat, the Schism Immolation of Often Fair is now up on Board Game Geek if you want to follow updates. I just commit.
I think that's us.
Screenshot!
I think that's us. Because everyone froze.
Yeah, no, we're good on my end.
Oh, that was an
but,
excellent freeze, though.
I'm pretty sure I got it.
That's
I
still,
just got
that's
a
up
your
on.
internet connection's unstable message.
Okay, so Immolation of Oath and Fur. It's oh god, it's us. Well, to be fair, it's all of us. No, all of them. They're really good. Okay.
I'm specifically taking Ollie for this first one.
Okay, well, can we finish the show before you start making fun of my face?
I like the little hobgoblins, how they have the little line. Or goblins have the little line, and the hobgoblin have the less
If you
distinct.
don't know, Schism is a board game series set in the world of Jarviskjir. Zoe.
Yes, there are excellent, highly detailed miniatures that are just so good, and I like to look at them and go, ooh, and it's very, like, adaptable, so
Very easy to play.
every game can be like,
Very out of focus. Goblins and witches.
so good.
They
don't look quite as
they're
blobby as
big
that.
and they're gonna look, but like the big chunky bases.
Yes.
They really feel. That was my mum's idea.
Ooh,
Keeping
so
them
good.
weighted. Zoe does a lot of writing work on that. If you want to see Zoe's work, follow that link. I'm new to Board Game Geek, but you can basically subscribe to a
Yes.
game if you're interested in that.
Board Game
and-
Geek is a fantastic little forum full of really nice people who just want to help you get better at the things that they really like. Which
Unlike Twitch.
my experience with the Lord of the Rings, the card game, I was like, help me! And many people answered the call, and I was like,
Well, you
so
know, the
nice.
beacons were lit.
the beacons are lit! Gondor calls for aid. So yeah, it's really great. You'll be able to see some introductory stuff about the game and components, and we'll be posting there and having a conversation. If there's anything you want to say about what you think, or the game, or what we've written, then
Yeah,
please
that's the place to do it. We chat a little bit about it on the stream and a little bit on Discord, but if you want to talk about Schism, do it there. Start discussions, engage, help us out. And that's that. This show, however, is supported by Patreon. There is the $5 show. The $5 show! Starring Neil and Ian, and occasionally other art projects. I'm currently on rest, so there's not many other things coming from me, but there is Doom Lore, a Warhammer 40k story, our Warhammer Dark Heresy game on Fable Scraps, which is at 11... Oh. It's going to be at 10 p.m. BST. Oh, GMT this time, I think. Time zones.
Now it's PDT.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's
Oh
gonna
my
be in
lord.
PDT. I don't know what it is in native time. I do it in my time. I know when I have to be up and caffeinated. But that's a really fun game. Really fun campaign. Really fucking good cast of just immense personalities that I'm going to kill with chaos demons and such. So come by for that. And join the Discord if you haven't already. YouTube, Twitter, all of the things. We will see you next week as the party continues to delve into the asylum.
Where Ashal continues to face check.
Oh! I get it! It took me a sec. That's good. That's clever. Alright, bye.